Good afternoon, Trinity. Good afternoon to those who are joining us online today. Welcome to another midweek motivation with your pastor, Dwayne D. Flood. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you today, and I hope and pray that God has blessed you in a special way. You have made it to Wednesday. Welcome. You're almost halfway through the week, and we just hope and pray that this word gives you just a little bit of encouragement to help you get through the balance of the week, so that when we meet again on Sunday, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Today we're going to be in 2 Samuel chapter 22 verses 6 and 7. 2 Samuel chapter 22 verses 6 and 7. And what you're going to find here is I want you to kind of think about one thing just as a little setup to this text, is that life is certainly challenging. I don't know if I'm by myself. Hopefully you can just tap into the comments and say it's challenging for me too. And when life is challenging, you find one thing and one thing only, is that if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not one situation, it's another situation. Life is currently and always constantly throwing us all kinds of curveballs. And those are the times that we need to do one thing and one thing only, and that is pray. Don't get distressed. Don't get ready to throw in the towel. Just simply pray. Man, I can't help you more than that, but check it out. Hopefully you found 2 Samuel chapter 22 verses 6 and 7. We find these words. It says, "The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God. And he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter his ears." That just encourages my heart. But let's get into it a little bit, because you got to know that in the midst of this text, David is reflecting. David is thinking back on the times when he was in distress. He's thinking back on the times how God delivered him from the hand of Saul. Look what he says in verse number 6. He says, "The sorrows of hell compass me." Death had surrounded him. The snares of death prevented me. David is saying that death surrounded him, that the grave was waiting on him. In fact, the grave had a welcome David sign right on it. But David didn't get distressed. Look what David did in verse number 7. He says, "In my distress, in my pain, when I was all afraid, I called upon the Lord." Boom, there you go. That's exactly what he did. And if David did it, then guess what? We should do it too. See, when you come to the understanding that called is written in the past tense, which indicates that David is recalling. David is reflecting. He is considering how in his darkest despair, he called out on the Lord. Man, here's where you got to kind of get. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I just want to make sure that you let that marinate on your heart. See, called means to cry out, to summon. David cried out, David shouted out and called on the Lord. So what are you trying to say? I'm glad that you asked. When we are in life's deepest, darkest despair, when things aren't going our way, when we are struggling, we are challenging, we should call out, we should cry out, we should shout out and call upon the Lord. Since called is written in the past tense, let me bring this home to you. That means that David has called on the Lord before, and God has delivered. How many times have you prayed out to the Lord and he delivered? How many times have you asked and requested God to take you out of a situation or bring you out, and God did it? Here's the thing. If God did it before, God will do it again. So the same confidence that you had previously, you can have that same confidence in your current situation. Man, that is some good stuff. I'm not going to get excited, but that is some exciting stuff. Now, look what happens next in this verse, in verse number 7. He says, he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. That is great, great stuff. See, you got to realize that God is in his temple. His temple is in heaven. God, who is in his temple, who is high and lifted up, who is the supreme ruler of the universe, where the earth and all that is made is in his hand, takes time out to hear David's cry. That should get you excited right there. Man, God, who is super busy, God is not busy enough to hear your cry. Somebody might want to start shouting right now that God takes time just to hear your cry, just to listen to your voice, just to have compassion on you, to love you enough to be able to support you, carry you, and then deliver you out of. He hears your cry, so call upon him. He would love to hear from you today. Man, when all else fails, call upon the Lord. When you need some help, call upon the Lord. When you don't think that you're going to be able to make it, call upon the Lord. He would love to hear your voice. Hopefully that blessed your heart today and encouraged your spirit. If you're looking for a place to worship or you're looking for a church home, we prayerfully want you to consider the loving people at Trinity Missionary Baptist Church. We're located at 6320 Chandler Street, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45227. If you want to check out more information about us and you want to get a feel for all the ministries that we have going on at Trinity Missionary Baptist Church, feel free to check us out on our website. We are located at www.trinitymbcmadisonville.com. I'll hope and pray this word blessed your heart, and I know for a fact that God will hear, God will deliver, and so you shall walk in victory. Have a blessed day.